Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys.
That's cool.
No, just the opposite. In volleyball, you have to make sure the ball never touches the ground on your side of the net. On each side of the court, 6 players. Hey, you blue team, you're only allowed to tap the ball 3 consecutive times. The basic principle is 1, reception, 2, pass, 3, attack. Most of the time, use your hands and your arms. But did you know that you're now allowed to hit the ball with any body part? Your head, your belly, your feet, even your backside if you want, sure. And these days, when you serve, the ball is allowed to touch the net. However, for the players, it's absolutely forbidden. Hey, you know who that player is with a different color jersey? That's the libero, a defensive specialist who's not allowed to either serve or attack. That guy is just a player on the wrong team. Okay, enough talk. How about a little match? You have to win 3 sets of 25 points. And if there's a 5th set, you only need 15 points to win. 1 point for the red team. That's right. These days you can win the point even if your team doesn't have the service. Okay, red team, you get the ball. And you rotate. I've got a feeling this is going to be a long match.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys. Equestrian sports were once reserved for men only. But today, the sport is co-ed. In fact, it's the only Olympic sport where men and women compete together, without distinction. Whoa there, guys. This isn't a race. In the jumping competition, couples each go through separately. And when I say couple, I'm talking about the rider and his or her horse. There are a maximum of 13 obstacles to get over, in order, within a certain time limit. Every 4 seconds over time, 1 point off. So hurry up. Sometimes there's the high jump. And don't worry, the bricks are fake. Oops, not this time, I guess. Sometimes there's the long jump over what's called a river. If you fall off your horse, you're out. Over the more basic kind of obstacle, if 1 bar falls, or all of them, it's the same thing. 4 points off. And if the horse refuses to jump, that's 4 points off too. So it's very important that the rider and horse have a close and trusting relationship, because 2 refusals means you're out. Well, you guys do seem pretty close, but somehow I sense a second refusal coming up.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys.
Okay.
Oh yeah, big guy, you're looking strong. All set for the shot put. Hey, there's one. Careful, it weighs more than 15 pounds. To beat the current human record, you'll have to get it farther than the length of a tennis court. Let's demonstrate. Ooh, that looked painful. Shake it off. For the hammer throw, the ball is the same, but it's attached to a cable. The human record is almost 4 tennis courts long. Yeah, that's right. To pick up speed, you turn. Looks like you're going to get this one pretty far. Or not. On the discus throw, women generally throw farther than men. Maybe because their discus is twice as light. Ooh, nice throw. You might even break a record. Oh, too bad. The discus has to touch the ground. And finally, the javelin, the lightest object that goes the farthest, almost the length of a whole soccer field. No. Should I tell them that the point has to touch first, not the tail? Nah, why spoil it for them? They look so happy.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys. In Greek, the word for nude is gymnos, which gives us gymnastics. But it's been a long time since anyone did this totally naked. You know, it could cause problems. Maybe that's why the men's and women's events are separate in artistic gymnastics. The balance beam, for instance, is an apparatus for women only. As you can see, it calls for grace and sensitivity. Maybe that's why only women get artistic scores in gymnastics. They also perform on the uneven parallel bars. Very challenging. Let's demonstrate. Yeah, thanks. That was pretty close. If you take away one of the bars, it becomes the horizontal bar, and that is just for men. As are the rings. the hobby horse, okay, I meant the pommel horse, and the parallel bars. Actually, guys and gals only have two apparatus in common, the vault and the floor exercise. But there, only women can do their acrobatics with music. That's an interesting choice. On the other hand, can't say it's not original.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys. You'd be surprised, but in swimming, there are loads of ways to get disqualified from competition. If you leave even a hair before the starting bell rings, you're out. In relays, if you dive in before your team member touches the wall, you're out. Another lesser-known rule. If you swim more than 15 meters underwater without coming back to the surface, guess what? You're out. You'd go faster, but the fans couldn't see anything, so it's against the rules. To win at breaststroke, you have to touch the wall with both hands at the same time. Otherwise, you're out. Hey, watch it. If your suit goes up higher than your navel, you're out. Looks too much like those super slick one-piece suits that have been forbidden since 2010. Nice try, but you're out anyway. On the other hand, it's completely fair to shave your body hair to be as smooth as possible. Let's demonstrate. There's no mystery to swimming fast. Anything extra that gets in the way is out.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys. Judo, which in Japanese means the way of flexibility, is a martial art where respect for your opponent is the only... Oh no, for once we got off to a good start. Now cut that out, you're not allowed to hit. To defeat your opponent, the best way is an ippon. You grab him and flip him like a pancake onto his back. If you slam him down, you get an ippon. The referee lifts his arm, and the match is over. Yeah, almost. You grab the kimono, not the ears. But if the impact is too soft, you get a wazari. 2 wazari in a match are worth an ippon. If you don't manage to flip him like a pancake, you can defeat him by holding him down on the mat for 15 seconds vertically and make the smallest chance to get an ippon. Put him down, you get an ippon. The referee lifts his arm, and the match is over. Almost. You grab the kimono, not the ears, which gives you a wazari, or 20 seconds. That's an ippon. Let's demonstrate. No, that's not allowed. Your last chance to get an ippon is an arm lock, or a stranglehold. That's perfect. To abandon a match, your opponent taps 3 times with the flat of his hand on the tatami mat or on you. No, not in the face. And just 3 little taps is enough. Hey! Wait a second, I don't think you're really getting the whole Zen philosophy of judo here.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys. Nice try. But to do an Olympic dive, you've got to climb at least 3 meters high on a springboard. You hit only 1 bounce on the end of the board. You're not allowed to... Oops. Good news is you're not disqualified if you lose your suit. The next Olympic dive is from 10 meters high, from the high dive platform. That's as tall as a 3-story building. You hit the water at 60 kilometers per hour. Rule number 1 to get a good score is to enter the water vertically and make the smallest possible splash. Perfect. Not a drop. But that's not enough. You've got to impress the judges with a dive that is both aesthetic and difficult. For example, you could include a bunch of somersaults. This is the tuck position. Not very practical when you don't have knees. Or else there's the pike, or the straight position, which allows you to do twists. Come on, show us something cool, something really impressive. Let's demonstrate. Okay, that was all. But at least he aimed for the pool and succeeded in emptying it. Oh, I got some on my shirt.
Explain a sport in just 1 minute. That was the challenge put to the greatest athletes in the world.
But they weren't available, so we had to use these guys.
Canoe? Kayak. Not easy to see the difference, is it?
The canoe was invented by Native Americans. It's performed with a single paddle and on your knees. Well, when you have knees. With the kayak, we use a double paddle, symmetrical, like the word kayak. It's an Inuit invention, which, unlike the canoe, is practiced in a sitting position. Let's demonstrate. Yeah, well, thanks for trying. In these two vessels, you can either race straight on calm, flat water, or else slalom on a rough whitewater course. I said rough water. In this case, you have to get through about 20 gates as fast as possible. There are green ones that you go through with the current. Yep, it's a 2-second penalty if you touch a post. And watch out with the red gates, because you have to go against the current. Come on, go for it. That's it. No? Too bad. Missing a gate means a 50-second penalty. Oops, no more current. Hey, he's gonna make it. So watch out, falling out of the crack means you're out.
Okay, stay concentrated. Unless you want to be disqualified right off for a false start.
You can't start the race before the gun goes off. No second chances anymore like before. Perfect. Not a single false start. In hurdles, you can knock over all the hurdles you want to, but you gotta at least try to get over them. That's right. Let's demonstrate.
Or not. In relays, if you drop the baton, no need to panic. You don't get disqualified. However, only the runner who dropped it can pick it up. And without bothering the other runners, please. Hey, no running without a jersey. Strangely enough, you are allowed to run barefoot. And yeah, why not? Even in high heels. It's not against the rules, but it's not super practical either. Ah, the photo finish. Okay, so you two are not on the podium. Get in the rears of the line first will not help you. It's not your head that counts, but the most forward part of the torso, without the arms. Exactly, that's what counts. Ah, the chest counts too. But, that looks like cheating, sort of.
Yes, in fencing, there are indeed 3 types of weapons. Just not those. Sorry.
There's the foil, which is the most flexible. Yep, that's covered. There's also the epee, which is the heaviest of the swords. Nope, it's got nothing to do with the medieval sword. We're talking more about the kind the musketeers used. Excuse me, you can leave it. Then there's the saber, the pirate sword. It's only with the saber that you can use the edge to get a point. With the foil and the epee, only the tip counts for points. Hey, wait, stop! You can't just hit anywhere to get a point. With the foil, you can only aim for the trunk. With the saber, the entire top of the body. And with the epee, you can take your pick. It's the simplest weapon. If the 2 opponents touch at the same time, each gets a point. But with the foil and the saber, it's the one who extends his arm out first that gets a point. It's a question of priority.
Easy, right? All right, already, enough talk. Let's demonstrate. Hey, no, wait, first you stretch your arm and then I told you nobody go broadswords. I thought my explanation was pretty clear, or was it?